Hello clarinet players, welcome to this week's lesson. So once you have set your clarinet and set the reed, which I remind you, there must be a little black gap at the top of your reed before your mouthpiece. Let me line this up so you can see it on the GoPro. There. So you have a little line of black at the top. It is straight. Your ligature is low enough that when you turn it around, you can see in the window your logo of your instrument and it's not covering up that bottom line. You are ready to go. Last week we learned our first 3 notes starting at our open G. So just to check if our clarinets are ready. Right hand on the bottom with your thumb on the thumb rest. Left hand on top, just bracing it right now. Not pressing any buttons down. Give me a G. Bottom lip wrapped over your bottom teeth. Top teeth on top of the mouthpiece. Your lip goes over. And then tight corners, push up with your bottom lip. Get that consistent sound. Work on that. If you're not getting a good sound out of your instrument yet, just work on getting that G. And that was our first note. As you can see by the diagram, it is all white, which means nothing is pressed down. That's just the open G. We then went to our F, which only difference is on the back side of the clarinet. This hole is completely covered with your thumb. It has to be completely covered because if you let air leak out of it, it will be the wrong note. Here's what it's supposed to sound like. Here's what it sounds like if your thumb moves while playing it. Doesn't sound great when you do that, at least not when you do it on purpose. So make sure your F, with your left thumb completely covering it, sounds like this. Once you have that, we moved on to our E. E keeps the thumb on the back side and then adds the left first finger to the first hole on the front. So you are pinching the clarinet with your thumb and your first finger, covering the holes completely, sealing them so that no air gets out. E sounds like. Right? Those were our first 3 notes. G, F, and E. Let's pull up a metronome. And as a warm-up, there we go. 4 beats of each with 4 beats of rest in the middle. Our assignment from last week. Ready, go. 2, ready. 2, ready. There it is. Now, if you're sensing a pattern, adding a finger each time, it's because there is a pattern. You add 1 finger each time while you go down right now. So we added our thumb, we added our first finger, and now we're going to add our second finger on the next hole down. Not the next key down, the next hole down. On clarinet, your fingers, other than your pinkies, live on holes. That's why the holes are finger-sized. It's not a coincidence. That note is D. This one right here. If you look at E, this is longer. It just has the top hole covered and the thumb. This has the thumb, top hole, second hole. Sounds like. Match that pitch. That's it. And then lastly, C, which adds the third finger in the third hole. The third hole on the left hand is the only hole that doesn't have a metal bracket on it. That's an easy way to find it. And that sounds like. There it is. So let's start at the bottom this time. With the metronome on, 4 beats of C, which is thumb, 1, 2, 3. Then 4 beats of D, which is thumb, 1, 2. Then E, thumb 1. Then F, just the thumb. And then G, open. So each time you're removing a finger. 4 beats of the note, rest for 4 beats. Ready? Go. 2. Ready? 2. Ready? 2. Ready? 2. Ready? So now you have 5/8 of your first scale. That's a pretty good statistic. Now what I want you to do this week is practice with that longer metronome. 4 beats per note, all the way up, and then go down, and then go back up. That is easily the first 10 to 15 minutes of your practice. You can just sit there and play scales. Now, the more interesting part, these are the 5 notes we know. C, D, E, F, and G. You are going to write me an 8-note melody using these notes. They can be in any order you want, but you have to use all of them at least once. They are going to be quarter notes. So there are 4 of them in a measure. We're going to start with C. All of us will start with C. And you're going to add other ones. C. I'm going to add E. Then I'm going to add a G. Then I'm going to add an F. There's my first measure, 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second measure, I'm going to go down to an E. I'm going to go to a D. Then I'm going to go to a G. And then I will end on C. And there is my 8-note melody. Adding a final bar line. If this is Do, this is C. It's Do, Mi, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Sol, Do. When you write your melody, I want you to sing it using our Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. You can use the hand cymbals. You can just sing it if you've got it. I like using the hand cymbals to give myself a visual reminder of where we are. So we have Do, Mi, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Sol, Do. Use the letter names. C, E, G, F, E, D, G, C. And then lastly, play it. There's your melody. Now, it can't be this one. You have to write your own. It must start on C. It must have 8 notes. It must use one of each of the notes we know, and it has to all be quarter notes. So nothing too fancy this week. Just a basic melody. When you change your fingerings on clarinet, change them all at the same time. This is just a warning. When you're playing an open note, like my open G going to a C, I'm changing all of my fingers at the same time. I'm going from open to boom, all at the same time. Because if I don't put them at the same time, it gets real messy. We don't want to slide. We want a clean separation. Right? So 8-note melody. Work on it. Have fun with it. I want to see a picture of it. It can be notated either by hand or in flat I/O, which we will work on this week. If you have any questions, zip me an email. I will need to see visual evidence of the writing, and I will need to see a video of you playing it. Happy practicing.